neighborhood.
Good deal. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Town of Pownell Select Board Meeting, May 25th, 2023 at 6 p.m. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Board member roll call.
Angie Rawling.
Jamie Percy,
Mike Gardner.
anybody else out there?
Approval of the agenda. Public comment, approval of minutes, correspondence, excess weight permits, road bid discussion and approvals, public comment, executive for contractual, pledge of allegiance to the flag discussion, animal ordinance and ACO questions, constable questions and discussion, proposal of combining specific appointed and stipend positions discussion, video recording policy, public comment and adjourn.
So moved.
Seconded.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Angie.
Aye.
Oh, aye.
Aye.
Do that.
Not yet, anyways. I'd like to open up public comment if there's any here.
Nobody's there right now.
Nobody's in? Okay. Approval of minutes. Minutes of May 11th, 2023 Select Board Meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion, corrections, additions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Accounts payable, May 19th, 2023, $24,604.49.
So moved.
Seconded.
Any questions, corrections? All those in favor?
Aye.
Accounts payable, May 26th, 2023, $102,281.28.
So moved.
Seconded.
Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, sorry. Accounts payable, New Town Hall, May 27th, 2023, $5,310.38.
So moved.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Payroll, May 19th, $9,851.72.
So moved.
Seconded.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Payroll, May,
Aye too. You got an aye also.
I said aye.
Oh, didn't hear you.
Hear you.
Sorry, I did.
Okay.
All right, aye. Payroll, May 26th, 2023, $10,359.05.
So moved.
Seconded.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye. Thank you. I didn't hear you the last
Sorry,
time.
Jamie. No, that's all right.
I said right next to
If you didn't hear me, then probably the audience didn't hear me either. So thank you.
Consider there's three of us.
Yeah, no, that's right. Thank you for that. That's fine. Correspondence.
Ghostbusters.
Do we have,
Yes.
is this the only one? Oh, okay, sorry.
Well, this is from Joyce Held. Good afternoon, Tara and Select Board members. Thank you for your recent email. The PHS Board has decided that this has become a too complicated decision with too many unknowns to make without the input and guidance from members and interested parties. So we will be reaching out to them. We are confident that their feedback will prove very helpful. Best regards to all, Joyce Held.
I'm gonna have a brief statement on that. The PHS is the Pownell Historical Society. This correspondence is in reference to the downstairs of the old schoolhouse portion of the new town hall. We have worked diligently, Bob Jarvis, Tara, myself,
And Town Council.
and town council from the town standpoint along with representatives from the historical society to come up with some sort of a lease agreement, rental agreement, lease agreement, however you want to word it. We've spent a lot of hours. We've spent some time as a board in executive session discussing this matter. And there's been several proposals back and forth put on the table, both from the select board, and the Pownell Historical Society. So it looks like we're at sort of a crossroads here. But I think I think it's gonna move forward. It's just gonna take whatever time to get it taken care of. I do want to say that I think I can speak for the board, because I know what our general consensus has been. The Pownell Select Board definitely wants the Historical Society in that space. We have, Tara and I met with the Historical Society, and the contractor prior to any finished details, in that area. And the finished details are, basically what they've asked for. So, the plan all along was to have them down there. The feeling from the select board is, we don't want to get into a situation like we're in with like the town got into with the Center Community Church, where there's a, difference of opinion on who does or whatever. The select board is looking out for the future of the town of Pownell, and that space has absolutely nothing to do with the Historical Society. It's just, we're trying to do what we feel as a board, along with our council and along with Tara's input, what we feel is the best, solution.
A clean and clear line definition is what we're looking for, I believe.
So I just wanted to get that statement out after the correspondence came today. We have been working. We've got quite a few hours in on this. Bob was sitting on that with myself and Bob and town council, along with Tara.
That's it for correspondence.
Perfect. Excess weight permit.
No, no access paper.
No way. Oh, you guys can't take very much time because I'm flying through this. I'm just kidding. Road bid discussion and approvals. Everybody read that from Joel?
Yeah, it's for the blacktop bids, right?
Yes.
So my only question was, would we get a better price if we had them do both?
Which,
Because he was suggesting that one would do the paving and Basin would do the grinding.
no, he did research the prices with all, right, and Basin was the best pricing for the grinding.
Okay. You mean for the paving? No, Basin was.
Basin was the.
Gotcha.
I was here.
Paving.
I was here yesterday. I was here at the bid openings yesterday. I asked that question to Joel after the fact.
Yep.
And these are the best prices.
Okay.
The grinding, he got two prices on the grinding.
Right.
And reclamation. And the other one was significantly higher than Basin. So that's why he's recommending, Basin on the grinding and reclamation, and, Wilk on the paving. And now Wilk has done paving for the town in the past.
Right.
So it's not like we're going with somebody that has never done anything for us.
Have done work for the town.
That's right. It was, so,
Possible that Basin's, bid was the way it is, possibly because they're already mobilized down here for the other project.
well, Wilk is, I don't know. Wilk is the least expensive on the paving.
Right.
That's Joel's recommendation, I believe.
Right.
Yeah.
They were 99.30 a ton, for
Right.
154,908.
It's $12,000 difference.
Yeah, right.
Between Wilk and Basin. Mhm. So I'll read those bids so that they're in our public. Wilk's bid for paving, was $99.30 a ton for a sum of $154,908. Basin's price was $104.30 per ton for a sum of $166,880. And Peckham Road came in at $186,506. I don't think they gave us a per ton price.
Did, but it was kind of up and down. It depended on.
Oh, that's right. It was a
Specific
location.
to the location.
That's right. I remember that. You're right, Tara. Yep. Anyone that wants to see those bids, we do have a, copy in the town office if anyone's interested in. I highly doubt it, but they are here. So Joel's recommending we go with Wilk for the paving and Basin for the grinding and reclamation.
Yep. Make a motion accept Wilt's bid for the paving and Basin for the grinding.
Second.
Any more discussion? Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Bob got it, right? Okay.
Okay, the next phase, like I said, I was here for these bid openings. The Furlong Road Bank Stabilization Project, Bizon Excavating came in at $25,000 with the town furnishing the materials. Sorry. And, you wanna do them one at a time?
Sure.
So, Bizon Excavating was the only bidder on that
Okay.
project. So what's your pleasure?
Make a motion to award the bid to Bizon.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
The salvage loader, excuse me, the salvage loader, Bizon Excavating bid $25,000 to buy the loader from the town. Once again, it was the only bidder. And Joel had, I believe, had a minimum bid of 9,500.
10.
It was 10? Okay, well, yeah, okay, so we changed it. Him and I had discussed that at night, okay. So the minimum bid was $10,000 and Bizon is at 25,000.
Make a motion to accept Bizon's bid.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Public comment, any public comment here?
No hands.
No hands.
I have a public comment. This is from Steve Copey. He actually wanted to be here tonight. This is just a suggestion. He would like us, if we agree, to check with the state police to see if they would be interested in a substation in Pownell using our old town office where we could lease it to them for like $1 a year and they would pay the electric, heat and insurance. This would be a win-win for the town. They would be more present in Pownell and it would also fill an empty building. And he said it's just a suggestion. He really wanted to be here, but he's out of town. So he asked me to pass that along. And it would save the town money because we are still heating the building and the electric because the water, I don't know if people know this or not, but the water does go to the firehouse. And we have to keep everything on over there for them to keep their water.
Yep.
That's all I have.
Well, we could reach out. I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
It's a.
I mean, they used to do it years ago. I don't know if
Yeah.
they still do or not. I mean, it's just a thought.
Well, they did have an office down at the racetrack when that was operational.
I mean, we'd have to, we'd have to, obviously, it would take some serious discussion
Right,
from the
absolutely.
board, but I don't have a problem, I guess, reaching out to see what,
Can ask a question. I mean,
Right.
nothing wrong with asking a question.
you know, so,
But
Any help we can get.
any more public comment?
No.
Okay. I'll entertain an executive to enter into an executive for contractual.
So moved.
second it.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
This will be.
On Facebook.
Make a motion to come out of executive session.
Second it.
Any comments, questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Pledge of allegiance to the flag discussion.
Put that on there because you wanted me to.
I did.
Yes, I support.
I support it. I don't think there's a discussion. I just think we should do it.
Then
Okay.
I think we should, do we need to make a motion or we just gonna add it to the beginning of our meeting every
I
meeting?
make a motion that we say the pledge of allegiance to the flag every single beginning of every meeting.
After the meeting is called to order, I'd like to add it in right after that. too.
After the roll.
Like after the board member roll call?
Yes,
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, sorry.
yeah. Second it.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Should have been doing that a lot.
Okay.
I agree. I wanted to do that a long time ago myself.
Yeah, I did too, and I just kept forgetting it.
Good idea.
Animal control or animal ordinance and animal control
The
officer.
ordinance isn't ready yet. I've been pretty busy the last couple weeks. I did talk to Mr. Fisher about it. He did suggest some changes, so I'll bring them back. But Leonard is wondering, because it's past April 1st, the deadline for licensing your animals. Last year, as you remember, he did a census. This year, he's wondering, because Julie can give him a list of dogs that are not registered yet this year that were last year. He's wondering if he can just kind of reach out to people either through mail or stopping by their house and saying, hey, did you forget? And that sort of thing. He's wondering what your thoughts are. And just so you know, I did look at the ordinance that's in effect right now. And technically, I mean, he could be impounding the dogs that aren't licensed.
I have a problem with him going to the houses just for safety reasons. I don't have a problem with a quick email sent to them
Email or a letter.
or a letter.
Yeah, email.
The only, I'm gonna play devil's advocate for a minute. The only downside that I see is if someone's animal has passed away, are you gonna reopen a wound that somebody doesn't wanna, that you don't wanna do? I'm gonna be honest with you, I mean, when my dogs die, I'm gonna be a mess, and I finally licensed them, so, you know, I'm not gonna lie about it. As far as being a mess, I'm just,
I think.
I just, you know, I don't
I think
know.
Leonard can be pretty sensitive to the whole
Oh,
thing.
no,
And I think,
absolutely, he can be sensitive for
Yeah, I
sure.
think he'll definitely be able to sort of calm people if that does happen.
No, I agree with you 100%. That's not my concern about Leonard.
And so just so you know, I've been getting an email, I'm on the municipal chain, so I've been seeing people asking for actual warrants to go and take dogs that are unlicensed. So I thought that was interesting. Some towns really do go
They're enforcing
much
it.
farther. Yeah, they do much more enforcement of that stuff. But I wouldn't want to see that necessarily, but
Did we-
maybe a reminder is
Did
okay.
we post dog licensing?
Yeah, it was
like
in
at our
our clinic.
Well, I know we had the clinic, but I didn't know.
Yep, it's
That's
been
what I
posted a
just-
few times. It's been in the town report.
Yep,
And then, so a follow-up to that question is, you know, are there any consequences if they don't, you know, how long would you want to let them go? And then are there consequences? Should he do a verbal warning and then ticket like you would for any other offense, or?
I think that would be a verbal. If we go that route, send a letter out and then if they don't come by it, do a verbal.
I can't imagine it's a huge number of animals that.
Probably not. Probably not. He just wanted to get the board's approval before doing
I
it.
think reaching out to the people, I think is fine.
Okay.
Because I agree with you, you know, I was playing devil's advocate or everything, but I do believe that Leonard is very sensitive.
Yeah, he's very animal friendly and really, yeah.
You know,
And it might be because of the cost of everything that some people might not be able to afford it. I mean,
make it, you know, give him a verbal warning and then go from there and let him use his discretion.
Yep.
Okay.
Constable question, are we done with that one?
Yep.
Constable questions and discussion?
So we had this kind of a weird question come up because we had the discussion about what we would like our newly elected constable roles to be. And we said that we would provide him a cell phone. But then when I went, I'm like, how am I gonna pay for this cell phone? We don't have a budget.
Right, we don't have a budget for it.
Also, if residents aren't able to call him, is it necessary for him to have a phone?
At this time, probably not.
I did set him up an email. I gave him the badge, which when I gave it to him, we realized it is broken. So the clip, there's no clip on the back. So he would like approval to go ahead and kind of get himself a replacement. He said he'd be willing to cover that, which it's $100. It's not a huge
Well, I think
expense.
the town should buy that.
Yeah.
So we bought it and it's broken?
So we bought it. It's an old badge.
an
It was
old badge.
returned from the previous health officer.
Oh, gotcha.
And when I took it out, I think it's made for a hat. It has a special screw-on back.
I think we should pay for it.
Yeah, I do too.
I think we should just find out what he wants, let him order it and the town pays for it.
Yeah, so I do have exactly what he wants for the badge, so I'll go ahead and do that. And then I'm thinking that the cell phone is kind of an unnecessary piece right now.
I
Okay,
agree.
All right, perfect. That's all I needed for that too.
Proposal of combining specific appointed and stipend positions.
Okay, so before I start, I want to say this is not personal to you, although it does involve zoning administrator stuff, but it's not personal to you. So let me, so as you all know, Hannah and I work really well together as a team, and we often brainstorm ideas for improvements in the town, and we had an idea we wanted to share. So since I came into this position, we have had trouble filling and or keeping the position of health officer filled. As a town, there are many issues the health officer receives calls for. However, a lot of them he or she cannot necessarily act on due to the change in a lot of state laws. Many of the previous duties of the health officer have been removed and given to the state public safety agencies. Another common theme we have with these types of health officer complaints is that it's often questionable whether it's a complaint for a health officer or a zoning ordinance type complaint. Currently, we see a lot of overlap between these two roles. Also, over the last year, we have strived for a teamwork approach. Having the same person, currently Hannah, attending DRB and planning meetings has helped keep a better communication and uniformity. This has allowed us to work together amongst boards in a more effective manner. After some time working these roles, Hannah and I feel as though there's a logical connection between health officer, zoning administrator, and our planning and DRB boards. Therefore, we're proposing that we do sort of a combination of all of these roles. Health officer, zoning administrator, and a minute keeper, but also a meeting host for planning and DRB. If we offered this role at the $700 per month stipend, we wouldn't be spending any additional money. However, it may offer a more effective way of using the roles. Also, offering the larger combined stipend makes the position more attractive and likely will help draw applicants willing to give the role the attention it needs. We could advertise and hire this role with the understanding of approximately like a 10-hour-a-week commitment. This would include the meetings, meeting with Hannah and myself to keep everyone updated and informed, process permits, zoning complaints, return phone calls, do all the administrative stuff, but also like building that trusting relationship and respected relationship with the community, and then moving forward with research and planning as far as the code enforcement pieces that we keep kind of tossing around, because there are code enforcement issues in town, and it's going to require somebody very knowledgeable and that has the time to research and then either develop ordinances or some sort of a plan of where the town could go with that. So that's sort of what we came up with, because $700 is what we are currently paying, $400 for zoning and $300 for the health officer. But this is just an initial sort of proposal just to get the conversation started and see what the board thought about that.
So would that person be going to the DRB and doing the minutes and stuff like what Hannah does right now?
Yes, she would stay with the select board meetings, but that would free her up in the evenings. And then not spreading herself through evening meetings, and she would be able to focus more during the day.
Didn't we pay somebody prior?
I think we did, I think you did.
So I'm just wondering if we had paid somebody prior and that's in the budget, that we should add that into that position.
I don't.
The only downside, and speaking from personally doing both the zoning and the health officer for the last, whatever, a couple different times as a health officer. The only downside to that is, doing the meetings and the minutes, maybe, I think the person should be at the DRB and planning commission meetings.
Right.
But I think if that person was going to be active in discussion at the DRB and planning commission, it would be difficult to do the meeting minutes and run the meeting. That would be my only
In the past,
big concern.
I'm trying to think, in
Especially-
the past, was there a secretary?
There was.
There was.
For the boards?
Yes.
And that wasn't a participant on the board? It was
Exactly.
like-
It was a
Exactly.
hired position.
And wasn't there also for zoning administrator, a secretary for zoning too, or like an
think so.
assistant or something?
Julie said that Nelson had a budget for it.
Okay,
Oh.
because I don't think those things are
I was
still
gonna say, I
in.
don't remember anybody ever using it.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know,
Like-
and I know I do.
I think it's a great idea and that we should check into it more and do some more research.
I agree with you on the health officer zoning portion of it, because I've been dealing with some stuff in the last week.
So just a quick question.
You've been fielding some of the phone calls from a certain person about some garbage and back and forth.
And a lot of times they overlap, like.
This definitely
the solid
overlaps.
waste
This definitely
stuff
overlaps. I mean, I had a,
Zoning.
exactly, and I had a phone call, I spent an hour on the phone today with the owner of the residence in question to the other it's this back and forth thing. So they definitely overlap, because the one person who's complaining is probably should be careful.
Right. And I agree with you that they should participate in the boards. I actually really agree with that too.
I think that the zoning administrator and the health officer being together is not I think that's a really good idea. I do think that there's a lot of times, I don't think it has to be all of the time at the planning commission and DRB, but I do think when they're discussing certain things, I know from my standpoint, when the DRB, for instance, is just having, they're approving minutes or they're doing that kind of stuff, I don't come down. But when there's a public hearing or whatever, if I can, I certainly try to weigh in if someone asks a question, I don't always jump in, to give my opinion, because I don't think that should be what I should be doing. But if the DRB asks the zoning administrator a question, or if someone in the public hearing asks me, a certain thing, I do try to answer that question.
Per the permit that they've taken out or something.
That's right, on a permit, so I think that's, I think that trying to get them to run the meeting and take the minutes
Yeah,
and
that's a
stuff,
little tricky.
I think that could be really,
But it's all recorded.
yeah, but still, it's, you still have to have minutes that you present.
Yeah, it would be a little tricky. I can try to rethink how to do the minute taking meeting stuff to still move Hannah out of that role. And combine those positions and kind of bring it back after you guys have all had time to
We did
think
have-
about it and.
So my only question is, because it's through the state that has to be approved for the health officer.
Yeah.
Is there anything in the statutes where you couldn't combine the two?
I don't believe so, but I could reach out.
Reach out to the LCT just to make sure that we could combine.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea.
Yep.
I mean, I don't have,
Look, we did have a part-time secretary for those two boards in the past.
yes,
We did.
And maybe we.
We might have to go back to that, absolutely.
Person resigned and then Tim's at the time.
Yeah.
Took that over
And it-
and we hadn't really relooked at it.
And that's kind of how a lot of our roles have come into play, is like we've
Right.
just kind of adapted them, but as we're getting more comfortable and realizing, okay, how can we work better?
Right.
I think
The
it's,
person that did zoning and health too, if they were open to doing the meeting minutes, the only reason I think that might be better than hiring a separate person to do it is because so at DRB, I obviously don't know nearly as much about zoning as Mike does, but when they have questions, I do know some of the stuff from processing permits and stuff like that, so I'm able to answer questions. And for DRB, that sometimes makes minutes easier for me because I know what's going on.
yeah.
So I don't know if that person would necessarily want to be the minute taker, the zoning and health person, but,
well, I think they should be made. I know where you're going with that. I think they should be available for questions if someone's writing the minutes.
Right.
I think it would, I just think it would be difficult when you're participating,
Yeah.
planning commission or a DRB meeting to be doing minutes, even if you do them after the fact on a recording.
The only thing I'm thinking of difficult is the hosting, like trying to
Right.
be present there and here. That would be.
That could be tricky.
So
And
let me-
if you're gonna hire someone to host, if you're gonna hire someone to host, you're not gonna make it feasible to have someone just host a meeting. And then if you gave them enough hours to take the minutes too,
Right.
Right.
then
Let's
you
have to do
get,
some brainstorming on how to.
yeah.
how to address it.
And I honestly, I thought that's kind of where you were going with that. I honestly don't have a problem staying in the health officer position right now until, I don't even know when that's
Because
up.
basically what we would end up doing is, well, we'd have to advertise for health officer again. And then last time we did have a couple applicants. But I really think it would draw more of an interest if we had a little bit higher of a stipend.
That was.
And-
I really wasn't trying to get somebody to stay in health officer position.
Right.
And I think we can try to, my zoning term is up in, I think in August or September.
Yeah, I think.
August.
Yeah, that's what we discussed.
And I, maybe we could just hold off and do it at the same time and, health officer, zoning administrator in August and advertise the two together and.
By then you have more information on it.
Yeah, yeah, I'll reach out to the LCT and then, I'll bring it back and feel free to share thoughts or whatever through email and.
Thank you too for, thinking outside the box.
Yeah, no, for sure.
We're trying and Phil, I'm sure there'll be more.
Oh, it should. It's all about streamlining, right? It's all about streamlining.
Just making things more efficient, effective, yeah.
Video recording policy.
So I actually don't have that in front of me, but I think Hannah sent it to you all.
I did read it.
I read it over.
The reason that we brought this to you guys now,
I read that.
here's that with you, was basically so that you could take a look at it. Our contract with Cat TV is going to be up, similar to our sheriff's contract at the end of June. And we will either need to renew or not. But since we have started using Facebook Live now, and we want to keep our policies sort of streamlined and keep doing this from here on out, we figured we'd put it in writing and have you guys,
I actually read it pretty extensively tonight. I liked it. I liked the way it was written.
Rob Hannah.
There was,
I think you're saying Facebook Live though. I think I forgot to add in that we're gonna be streaming on Facebook Live. I think I forgot to put that in. Let me edit.
I don't think there wasn't anything in here I didn't like. I like the fact that you covered, hey, look at, there could be a failure,
Yeah.
Yeah.
mechanical failure,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, that,
Okay.
I mean, look at that one night we had a storm.
yeah.
Yeah, you've got the town's view.
And there's always,
The way you have it worded about it being stored, it's spelled out pretty good. And you also, the exception, 6.01 with the Board of Abatement and Board of Civil Authority, way to think that through. I liked it. I didn't really see anything at first glance that stood out as far as something that I didn't like. I really liked the whole thing. I mean, I haven't sat down and scrutinized it, but.
so she'll make that edit and then bring it back again.
Yeah.
Hopefully for approval. And then just keep in mind, this may make the need for Cat TV null and void.
Gee, that would be awful.
That is, of course, up to you guys. That's all I have for that.
Okay.
Good job, ladies, as usual.
Public comment.
Nobody is in.
Really?
I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No.
Thank you everyone for attending.
But Facebook. Other than that,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like that policy. I thought